What's up, YouTube? We're back with another episode of What the Hell I Doing. And this week, we're doing a special review. It's Halloween 2020, the worst year of the ever, possibly. And now it's Halloween, and who knows if what your government's doing where you live. Is it ruined? I hope not, but we're not going to talk about that crap on this channel because I don't want to bring you down. This channel is an escape from reality. So happy Halloween. Tonight's a big night. Anderson Silva's fighting his last UFC fight, his last career MMA fight. It's not a glorious moment anymore, unfortunately. I think he's 45 or 44 now. He's either 44, but I think he's 45. It's been a long time since he was champ. It's been a long time since he would be able to compete as a champ caliber fighter. Anderson Silva is one of the best. He's my favorite fighter I've ever seen fight in MMA for sure. In boxing and MMA combined, he's up there. He's not my favorite of all time, but he's tied for favorite of all time or second place. There's a couple of boxers that belong up there. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. But Anderson's a special guy. I named Anderson after him. I enjoyed every major fight that he had in the UFC. He had an incredible run with some really memorable moments, and it really ended a few years ago when he broke his leg. But he wanted to show that he could still hang with young guys, and he proved that. And it was fun to watch him compete, even if he lost and wasn't fighting the way he used to. It was fun to watch him compete still, and he did show he has the skills to hang with guys of any age. And he is one of the greatest, one of the most skilled fighters I've ever seen, and it was truly a blessing to watch him fight. And tonight will be his last fight against Uriah Hall. And it's going to be a tough fight for him, I think. Hall's a tough fighter. He had some incredible highlight reel finishes, especially the one on The Ultimate Fighter when he was first noticed in the UFC. But he's also had some questionable fights where he just didn't perform as expected, at least in my opinion. When I see those kind of knockouts on highlight reels, I want to see that a fighter that can deliver in different ways, and that wasn't just a fluke. And with Hall, it's kind of been a bit of a fluke. He's had some good wins, but he's also had some real disappointing fights. So, he's just one of those guys. As a guy for Anderson's final fight, I guess he's an okay name. If Anderson went up against a killer, it wouldn't be fair. I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see him get slaughtered. So this is an okay name, and I think Anderson has a chance to beat him. Definitely has a chance to look competitive against them. They'll both be flashy. They're both good with their feet. They can do impressive things. So, they both might try to show off, and that might be fun to watch. But I hope Anderson can win it. I love the guy. I've loved watching him, and I'm going to miss having the opportunity to see him fight again. So I'm going to vote for Anderson Silva to win tonight's fight. I'm not going to bet anything on it, though. I'm not cursing him. This tonight is a farewell fight. And I just hope he has a great showing. And people that didn't get to see him fight, check him out on UFC Fight Pass. He's just incredible. All right, let's get down to what the point of this video is. It's time for a new coffee maker in this house. And I've been doing a lot of research for the last month or so, trying to figure out what I wanted to get. My current machine is 12 years old. It was a gift from work. It did its job. It's not a great machine. It started falling apart maybe 4 years ago. The buttons started not working. The light didn't turn on. You had sometimes if you hit the wrong button first, the thing wouldn't turn on at all. So, I figured out all the little quirks of how it started to work, and it still did its job. But that being said, it's not a great coffee maker. It's just an average Cuisinart, 12 cup maker that you buy for $100. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy another one. So I started looking into what would be good to make beans, because I like ground beans. I've been grinding my own beans for 12 years. And, I don't think that thing's doing them justice. So I started looking into all these new drip type, high-end type coffee makers, like Bonavita, Moccamaster. There's a few others. But I kept coming back to Bonavita and Moccamaster. And the thing was with the Bonavitas, they're better priced. They're cheaper, not by much, mind you. They're Chinese made, which I don't really want to buy right now. And I think they're Chinese made. If they're not, I apologize, but I think I read that. But the other thing is I notice they all have quirks and problems. And, you know, if I'm spending $250, $300 on a coffee machine, I can live with not having a timer because the idea is you're supposed to grind your beans and put them in the machine right away. So I'm cool with that because these machines are made to be brewed faster because they're SCA certified machines. But I do have a problem when you have a machine that costs $250, $300 and there's potential that it starts breaking down in 2 or 3 years. And I've read things, not many, I'm not saying this is the quality of the machine, but I've just read things that started to become repeating patterns, and or things that I just thought were quirky for a machine that you're paying that much money for. And I wasn't sure that I wanted a machine that was quirky like that. Like one version, there's no lid, so the coffee cools as it's getting brewed because there's no lid to keep the temperature in the carafe. And then there's another one where the filter sits on the thing, and then you have to screw a special lid on to pour the coffee, which seems really goofy. And then there's one with a timer, which, you know, okay, if you're lazy, that's cool, but I read a lot of things about the water reservoir starting to develop like all these cracks. And, you know, if you're spending that kind of money, that shouldn't happen. So everything kept coming back to the Moccamaster, which is the machine that I decided to pick. So let's bring her out. All right, here she is. This is the Moccamaster. This is the KBG version. There's a few different versions. They have thermal versions and they have glass carafe versions, which sit on a heat plate, you know, like your traditional coffee machine. So like if you make your coffee, it'll stay hot for a couple hours. That was something I want. I know the coffee isn't as fresh after 2 hours, but that is something I want because on the weekends, sometimes I like to coast on a pot of coffee over the course of the morning. Some of the machines, again, Bonavita, that I was looking at, you know, they had heated hot plates, but they only ran for 20 minutes or 40 minutes or something, which isn't good enough. This one here runs for 100 minutes, which I think that's acceptable. By that point, I'm done with the coffee, or if it's really important, I can always pour it into my thermos, which will keep it piping hot for like 12 hours. So this is the machine I decided on. Yeah, it's expensive. There are different prices for different colors. This particular version had like 20 different colors. I think the most expensive color I saw was $459 Canadian. And that's crazy because, you know, they're all the same machine. This one was still expensive, but it was like $100 and cheaper than the most expensive color of this version. So yeah, I guess you figured out the math there. It was about $350 Canadian, which is a lot of money for a coffee machine. But if you're going to spend $250 and have to maybe think about buying another one in 3 years, this one's a good one to decide on because this is a handmade machine. It's a quality machine. You can buy parts to replace everything in it. So if anything breaks, you can fix this thing. These machines are made for life. And a lot of people I've read that had these said they were 10, 15 years old and they had no problems whatsoever. So that was something that I was thinking about too. You know, I might spend $100 more now, but down the line, I won't have to buy another machine. You know, this thing will produce great coffee, and when there's problems, I'll just change the parts, which, you know, should have no problem. And another important thing that I should mention is that this thing comes with a 5-year warranty out of the box, which is also pretty damn good. So if anything goes wrong in the next 5 years, I'll have a new coffee machine. So that's pretty cool, or new parts to make it new. So whatever, yeah. So we're gonna open this thing up, and then I'm gonna clean her, and then we're gonna try her out, and I'll do a quick review of the first cup that I do. And then down the line, I'll do a second review once I've had some time with this machine. So let's take a look inside the box to see how it comes. So let's open her up. I want to see what this thing looks like. Like I said, I did get a discount on the color, but I'm a fan of the color, so I'm glad it's the color I got. Well, if you saw the thumbnail, you already know. But if you didn't, then you're going to be surprised by the color. And hopefully that stupid plant isn't flickering in and out of the screen. So right away, open it up. We got a manual, and it's got a guide and crap like that. Anderson's barking. He's excited. So I'm going to have to maybe go over this real quick before I use this because it is different than a typical coffee machine. Let's see how this packed. First, I got to say the packing's all cardboard, which is good, I guess, now because, you know, plastic is not good. So everything's packed. It looks pretty secure. Doesn't look to be broken. So let's open her up and see. We got this here. Okay. So right away I dropped something. I guess that's gonna happen. So that I know what that is. That's the lid of the brewing pot. That's the shower head. We'll just put these on the table. So that's got 9 holes on it, so it distributes the water over the coffee. This thing's up to SCA specifications, which is a specialty coffee association. So there's certain standards you have to hit, like brewing temperatures. This brews between 198 and 205 Fahrenheit. So it extracts everything from the coffee properly. And it's supposed to brew within 8 minutes. I believe this thing does a whole pot in 6, which is crazy. This is where you put the beans, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty standard stuff so far. All right, so I probably don't want to drop this one. This is the actual unit. So there we go. We're gonna see. You're gonna see what color she is. Not yet. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Okay, there she is. Yep, she's orange, but I like it. So there's the carafe, pretty standard stuff again. And there you have it. I'm gonna get her cleaned up and we'll start brewing a cup. I've got everything ready to go. I've done one run just with filtered water. I'm always gonna use filtered water, or if you have spring water, that's good too. You want to try to avoid getting as much buildup in the machine as you can, but you still have to do maintenance to keep it clean. Descaling is important with these machines to keep them running at their optimum conditions. So every once in a while, you got to do that, and it'll help. So let's get this thing going. Let's see how long this takes. This is the handmade Moccamaster KBG, sorry. Handmade in Holland, I believe it was. The Netherlands. So yeah, let's brew up 5 cups. This is my morning brew. I just want to see how this goes the night before. I've ground fairly fine. I don't have a great grinder yet. That's my next thing. I know that will improve the taste of the coffee. But for now, let's see how this goes. Let's do it. I'm going to allow you guys to either skip ahead if you want, but I'm going to do something all the other reviews haven't. I'm going to just tape the brew, and if you guys like the sound of a brewing coffee, you can enjoy that. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine, but if you're curious how this actually brews, here's going to be an unedited cut of this thing brewing in action, which I don't think I've seen any other review do. Enjoy. I forgot to plug it in. No, I didn't. Okay, enjoy. I'm going to say with the heat plate, they have 2 settings. The half heat setting they say to use if you have less than a half of a pot. If you have a full pot, put it on the full setting. If you leave it on the half setting with less coffee, there's a better chance it'll increase that burnt taste. there you have it. All right, here we go. Look at that, no dripping onto the heat plate. That's pretty cool. All right, first cup. Oh, if you're wondering what that tube is, that's so when the coffee gets distributed down, it doesn't just kind of layer up. It'll what it does is it forces all the coffee to go to the bottom of the pot, so that it has to kind of work its way around, and it gets you a better blend, so you don't necessarily have to stir it and make sure everything is even as you go through the pot. So let's see how this looks. It's got good color. Looks like coffee. Okay. Oh, and by the way, this is not Kick-Ass by Kicking Horse. This is Ethical Bean. Whoops. I guess I did dribble. This is Ethical Bean Bold. Let's get that first taste. Oh, wow. You know, that coffee tastes totally different than what I'm used to. That's quite interesting. Wow. That is a clean tasting cup of coffee. I don't taste the flavors that I usually get from this coffee. Like right now, it just tastes like a nice bold coffee. There's no burnt taste to it. There's no bitterness or flavors right now that stand out that are ugly. And although I enjoyed the coffee out of my old machine, I did know like nothing I bought tasted like a coffee shop. You know, you could tell home coffee wasn't the same. But you know, this is different. My immediate reaction to this is that it tastes very clean compared to what I'm used to. I know that means nothing to you, but to me, it's quite good. You know, there's a boldness to it. It tastes, it's not bitter at all. That's the thing that's surprising me the most. The old machine probably didn't hit the right temperatures at all. I believe when it's below the right temperatures, it's more bitter. And I believe if it goes over, it's more sour. I believe that's how you know. But those flavors are not there. It tastes like a very clean cup of coffee. It's not wild in flavor. I'd like to try a French roast or something in this, or that Kicking Horse. That Kicking Horse has a lot more complex flavor even in the old machine. So that's a coffee I'd like to try in this. But no, I'm really impressed. I was drinking this earlier. The taste out of this machine is way better than what I've been used to. And this good thing is that I had some of these beans left because you know, I'm quite familiar with how they are right now. And I gotta say, wow, yeah, this is a much nicer cup of coffee. Temperature's great. That'll keep it hot for a couple of hours for me. I think this is going to help brighten my day. And I think with a better grinder, this coffee will taste even better. I guess we'll have to do another review down the line if I find a nice grinder. How about that? Anyways, I think this video has gone on long enough. This is one of my longest videos ever. It was one of the most complex to record. I hope you all watched it. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you're interested in this machine, my thoughts are this machine is fantastic after one use. The build quality is superior to anything I've owned. The idea that I can replace any part as needed if it breaks down at all ever is a great thing too. That means that, you know, maybe this machine will be here in 15 or 20 years, maybe longer. The best part is it's totally changed coffee because, yeah, this as I'm talking here, I'm still tasting the coffee a bit, and it's totally different than what I'm used to after a sip. So I'm blown away by how clean the coffee tastes compared to what I'm used to. And I think the more complex ones will be really impressive. And I think a grinder that's great will really change that too. But I want to thank you all for watching. So make sure you share the video. Make sure you subscribe, or I guess subscribe. Watch last week's video where I reviewed my third and final hot sauce and picked UFC 254, Khabib versus Jegenjan. We'll have to do the punishment on that, if there is one, next week, because I pre-recorded this video before that fight. I just wanted to get my first reaction of this thing on tape. So that's why I pre-recorded it. I wanted to be real in my review and reaction. But I will do a review down the line to give you guys a full, comprehensive what I think of how this thing does fit coffee after I've had it for maybe a few months or maybe 6 months. We'll see. Okay? So again, make sure you subscribe. Check out last week's video where I tried out my last hot sauce of the season. And check out this video here. And make sure that you keep on tuning in. Tell your friends to watch because we got more reviews, more fun coming, and more challenges and lives. Thanks for watching.